I move to open the meeting.
Second.
Polling the members, Darlene,
Yes.
John Page. Oh, you're muted, John.
How about that?
Hey.
Yes.
Okay. Victoria,
Yes.
Robert, you're muted as well, Robert. There you go. And I'll vote yes. Okay, we're open for business. So
Business.
I think the first item was to look at the which
The minutes?
Yep.
The minutes we're looking to approve from 11/21/24.
Yeah, the 6 pages. And I didn't get any comments from anybody. So if you notice anything now, I'm happy to.
A lot of it was the decision that we made, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was
So
in,
I read them. I move to approve the minutes of 11/21/24.
I also read it and I second that.
Second.
okay. All right, polling the members, Darlene,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Vicky,
Yes.
and Robert.
Yes.
And I'll vote yes as well. Okay, motion carries. That's squares the minutes.
Yep.
Then I'm trying to think of what else here.
Looks like there's a mandatory referral for 324 Main Street.
Yeah, what's happening there?
the applicant has submitted their application for a site plan review with the planning board, and they are also submitting their stormwater management permit application, sorry, tomorrow as we speak. So that's all coming in. We're going to have a consultant do a peer review on the stormwater, and town council will be assisting the planning board, similar to his role assisting the ZBA. So, and that was very timely because I was out for the decision. Yes. So that's that. So
I don't have any comment on that.
yeah, it's the same plan you looked at.
What's at 324 Main Street? I can't remember.
The gas station.
Gas station.
Oh, the gas station. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just gave them a permit for it, special
I
permit.
think we beat that one to death. So
Yeah. Did.
So your decision of November is part of their application packet, but you're still a mandatory referral for the planning board.
Right.
So I will simply, if it's okay with the board, I will simply put C, ZBA decision dated, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Fair enough.
No comment if that's appropriate on the
Okay,
on the
all
sheet.
right. That's good.
Yeah, that's because it's a special permit. It has to go to mandatory referral.
Okay, yep, exactly. Yeah.
So now, what else are we looking at here? Oh my God! Look at all that stuff. My God! All right.
The next thing on 2.2 was the it looks like they approved the accessory dwelling unit at the time. I wasn't able to go to that town meeting in January.
Okay.
But we know. Beth, do you want to tell us about it? And then
Yeah. So as you know, the state had changed the bylaws about ADUs, and it's by right. And so the town was no longer able to issue a special permit, as was your job for many years for an accessory dwelling unit. Now the law has changed quite a bit. It is now not just for a family member. It does now have to be it doesn't have to be affordable. You can't have a special permit associated with it. But in this change, if you will, it's a very different animal from what it was. Townsend the planning board decided to sort of work out a process for accessory dwelling units being constructed with a sort of outside of the criteria of what's allowed in the state law. In this case, it would have to be, they created a site plan review if you're going to construct an accessory dwelling unit that is an addition to an existing house or a new outbuilding. In a new outbuilding, you would need to go through a simple site plan review. Very basic. It's at a public meeting, no abutter notification. It's just a review of the application. There are waivers built into it, so the applicant doesn't need to spend money on a certified drawing. They simply request the waiver, and the decision process is abbreviated. So it's just another way to, to sort of have a little bit of look at the project. Is there a parking space? This is not going to be an in-law. It's going to be another family, so thinking about that, and, it's a different animal when you're renting, if you will, to a public, tenants should be aware. And I think, some education on that might be good too. Not everybody's familiar with rental property, but they might think, wow, this is a good idea to make income, but there's a lot of rules and regulations.
So it's kind of like an approval not required, but the way the planning board does now, they just make sure that it fits the criteria, but as long as it fits the criteria, they can't say no. It's just automatic.
Exactly. And most of the projects will just be going through and getting their building permit. So if it's like an ADU within the existing house, then it's just a building permit. If it's within an existing outbuilding, same thing. It's going to be just a building permit. So we're working out the process now with the building department, but and I am putting together.
So the zoning board has nothing to do with these anymore. That category, that's off.
Right.
Yeah, but I would still like to reach out to you, with the expertise of working over the years, and have you review the application process that we come up with and the permitting process, and stuff like that. If the board would review what we put together, I'd be really grateful for that.
One of the things you might want to do is have a sample lease for people to look at.
Yeah.
Because,
I don't know. I talked to town council about that. I don't know if I would go there. Being in real estate, believe me, and I'm a landlord. Yeah, I belong to the landlord, Northwest County Landlord Association too. And thank God I'm in the business of real estate, and I've had a lot of classes too, because you just can't learn enough about tenant landlord law. So I'd be careful about giving sample documents, maybe send them to be the resource of the resource, if you will, and people who provide forms and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I would definitely, how like we did with the building inspector, and we made the applicant fill in all the, like, this is the square footage, the ratios, something like that for the application for the building inspector would be really helpful, I think.
Yeah. Okay, great. And I actually have started on that. So I have a draft I can send out to you.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Perfect.
well, I just, there's a huge difference between renting to a family member and some random guy off the street. So if you're not, you might want to say, please talk to a real estate agent about a lease.
Yeah. Or even a community information session. Do you know what I mean? We're all going to learn this new bylaw, and, as staff, as board members, maybe there could be some sort of something put together for the general public with those important
You got
points.
state laws to comply with. You've got security deposit. There's just so much involved in how to qualify people and be fair housing. There's just so much to it. People can get in trouble so easy.
Something as simple as a different address. So what are we going to have? Apartment 1A, or let's say 40 Mason Road, we're going to have what, 40A for the accessory dwelling unit and 40 for the Mason. I mean, all these little things have to be,
Yeah.
worked out.
Well, the good news is the planning board has to solve that.
And the assessors, right? And the building department.
Here's another thing I could see down the road. People might think that this gives them the right to all of a sudden Airbnb an apartment, because they're allowed to do it. And Airbnbs are looked at as commercial enterprises, not renting long term. So there's the transient nature, and then there's the tenant nature. So that's going to be something else. We're going to see the consequences of this until everybody gets to it.
Growing pains. And then
Yeah.
MBTA comes along, and we'll have our overlay district. Yay. But I did put in late, I just dropped into your meeting packet and what I do for the planning board, and it's a administrative report. So you guys can read that at your leisure. I just wanted to update you on all the stuff going on in land use, including a recent staff change, or as of tomorrow, staff change. The land use coordinator is leaving, moving on, and so that leaves the vacancy for the land use coordinator and the grant administrator at this time. So it's me and Colby Streeter, who is the conservation agent in land use. So hopefully.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
Is that all we had to do?
I think that's it.
Wait, oh, I got one more thing. I have something I want to add in there. So, I've been serving on this board for 30 years. They were like 1995 rings a bell, okay?
So what do you want to take?
My term ends in June.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do is not ask to be put back on for another 5-year term, but if needed, maybe I'll go associate for you to help out kind of thing, but I'm looking to kind of wind it down a little.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave you hanging, but yet you can't stay here forever and expect, people aren't, so we need to put the word out that we need people to
Oh, thank
apply
you.
and, yeah.
Oh yeah, and you guys heard special town meeting on March 10th, right?
Is Pepperell doing one the same night?
Yes, and I heard Ashby too. So
Ooh, that'll be interesting. So is this one about the school again, asking for money?
yes, and I believe so. It's an override. But the other thing I wanted to mention was the fall town meeting, Article 19, which was proposed amendments to the age restricted development, was left dangling. Basically, somebody started talking, and then somebody called a quorum count, and the meeting was dissolved. So the moderator did not make a specific statement about Article 19, so you will be seeing it as Article 1 on March 10th. Those amendments are on the warrant, and that's the first article of the night. So if you have any input or any interest in, voting one way or another, I know that was a bylaw that that the zoning board had opined on in the past and has had discussions about. I can tell you that there have been 3 age-restricted developments projects approved by the planning board, and the reasons for the amendments are just finding what works. As any bylaw, they try to adjust it and keep what works and delete what doesn't. So I don't think any of you made the public hearing on this, but I just wanted to update you if you can make it to March 10th.
And that needs to be done. So normally we do our annual and special town meeting in May. So that March is just a couple months before it. The March agenda can't wait until May. They need to do it.
Well, the reason they did it was because of the way it was left hanging at fall town meeting. But literally, the meeting was dissolved. So
Yep.
the planning board put a lot of time and money, into putting this article forward. And so I asked council and the clerk, and it was allowed to be put back on for March 10th. And so we just thought it was fair considering that we made the investment of the public hearing and the cost of this and time and effort. So, I mean, maybe it won't, there could be floor amendments and things like that. But Johnson loves it, loves a discussion.
There's so many meetings. Last year, there was so many meetings. People, the public, general public's confused. They don't understand. And,
Yeah.
we know it's normal twice a year, but then there's more and you don't get a quorum. So it's postponed or
Yeah.
whatever. You can't finish business. So people are a little confused.
Yeah. I know there are still a lot of seats open on the annual election on April 28th, which is a side note. So if anybody wants to run, there's plenty of seats open on planning and other committees.
Okey doke.
All right. Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye. You going to close the meeting or?
Good. All right. I move to close the meeting at 6:55, I think.
Second,
Polling the members, Darlene,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Vicky,
yes.
Robert,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes. Okay,
Thanks, everybody.
motion
Good night.
carries.